The kingdom of heaven. What comes to mind? Like, what do you think of when you think of heaven? You know, some people think it's going to be like a return to Eden, like this wonderful garden with lots of food and, you know, Genesis 2 kinds of stuff. Some people think it's going to be like what Isaiah describes, a mountain of God where all nations and tribes stream to it from all over the world, all peoples together, tribes, nations, colors, races. That's Isaiah's kind of vision of it. Jesus describes it as a place with many rooms or mansions or dwelling places, however you want to translate it, but a place where everyone has space and room. Revelation talks about heaven as a place with no more mourning or crying or pain, a place where no one is ever hungry again or thirsty again. So choose your metaphor for heaven, but now think about how that's going to come about and when that's going to come about. We pray in the Lord's Prayer, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So this idea that heaven is going to come, like we're going to get to heaven, whatever that might look like or whatever you envision for that. But think about the things that you think that won't be in heaven. There's not going to be like a division between peoples, right? So there's going to be all kinds of races and colors and tribes and languages and abilities and so diversity, right? Think about the rooms in heaven and the space. Everyone's going to have space. Everyone's going to be fed. Everyone's going to be full and feasting. And so there's going to be equity, equality, whatever buzzword you want to use for that. But that's kind of what it's going to be like. Everyone's going to be included. So there's the inclusivity. So these are like, yes, very progressive terms or whatever, but that's like what heaven, that's what it's going to be like at the end, right? Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. That's what we're praying for. That's what we want. We don't want big disparities in heaven. That's probably not going to happen, right? So how does this come about now? And I think that's where, I guess, that's where the rub is, because I believe as a Christian that Jesus has already started this process. We pray in the Lord's Prayer that thy kingdom come. That means God has already started the process, right? That it's going to come about whether we want it to or not. But we believe that Jesus says time and time again, the kingdom of heaven has come near. When Jesus came, he started the process to get us there. Now, God is working to do that, and God's not going to make us do that, but the good news, I think, is that God invites us into that process. God invites us to help that overlap. There's a little bit of overlap, heaven breaking into our world today. And so everything that we do as Christians, if we want to follow Jesus, Jesus was doing that. Jesus was breaking those things into our world. And that's actually what got him killed. That's why they killed him, was because he was bringing heaven to earth. And it was scandalous back then. And those kinds of ideas, I guess, are scandalous today because people don't want to hear that. But as a Christian, that's why I work towards those things, because that's the work that we are invited into as Christians. And so you can call names or lefty or progressive or socialist or evil or Satan or whatever, but I'm just trying to work to bring a little bit of heaven here to earth, because that's the work that we are invited into. It's going to happen whether we want it to or not, but I want to be working towards that when God brings it in its finality.